She sat alone in a cafe, her trembling hands tracing words on her phone screen, waiting for a message that never came. Everyone around her was talking, laughing, but all she saw were lips moving and voices she couldn't hear. It was supposed to be her first date in years. She had even worn her mother's favorite blue dress, hoping to feel beautiful again. But when her date saw the hearing aid behind her ear, he frowned, mumbled something, and walked out. She didn't hear the words, only saw his lips say, "I can't do this." And that's when it happened. The man at the next table, a single dad with a little girl eating pancakes, turned to her. He lifted his hand, signing softly, "You deserve better." She froze. Someone finally spoke her language. Stay till the end. Because this story will remind you that sometimes love doesn't have to be heard to be felt. The cafe was small, quiet, or at least it looked that way to Maya, who lived in a world without sound. Her phone buzzed with a text. "Running late. Be there soon." She smiled nervously, glancing at the reflection in the window. She had straightened her hair, put on light pink lipstick, and chosen a floral dress. It was her first blind date, arranged through a friend who said, "He's kind. You'll love him." She hoped so. When the doorbell chimed, Maya looked up and saw him, tall, well-dressed, holding his phone. He scanned the cafe, spotted her, and smiled awkwardly. She waved, her heart fluttering. As he sat down, she typed quickly on her phone, "Hi, I'm Maya. I'm deaf, so I use this to chat if that's okay." He looked at the screen, then at her, his smile fading slightly. "Oh," he mouthed. "You're deaf?" She nodded, still smiling, trying to make it easy. She typed again, "Yes, but I can read lips and sign. You can just talk normally, I'll read." He laughed softly, scratching the back of his neck. His lips formed words she followed carefully. "That's kinda hard. I've never met someone who can't hear me." Her stomach tightened, but she kept smiling. "It's okay," she typed. He looked around, clearly uncomfortable. His phone buzzed, and as he read it, something changed in his face. He stood up. "Sorry," his lips formed. "This isn't what I expected." And just like that, he was gone. No explanations. No goodbye, just gone. Maya stared at the half-empty cup of coffee between them, her hands shaking. The world around her kept moving. Waiters chatting, cups clinking, music playing. But for her, it was just silence and a feeling of being small again. She blinked fast to stop tears, pretending to scroll her phone, hoping no one noticed. But someone did. At the next table sat a man with dark hair, wearing a worn-out jacket, and beside him, a little girl with pigtails, eating pancakes covered in syrup. The girl whispered something, and the man turned to look at Maya. His eyes softened. Then, he did something that made her heart stop. He lifted his hands and signed. "Are you okay?" Maya froze. He knew sign language. No one outside her family ever did. She stared, then slowly signed back, her fingers trembling. "I'm fine. Thank you." He smiled gently and signed, "You don't look fine." She bit her lip, tears threatening again. "I was supposed to have a date," she signed. He nodded. "He left?" "Yes." He paused, then his hands moved again. Calm, deliberate, kind. "Then he doesn't deserve you." She blinked, stunned. Then he added softly, "You deserve better." The words, silent but powerful, broke something inside her. For the first time that day, she felt seen. Not pitied, not ignored, just seen. She smiled, wiping a tear before it could fall. "Thank you." The man smiled back and pointed to his daughter, who was waving a pancake at her. Maya laughed silently. "Would you like to join us?" He signed awkwardly. She hesitated, but his kindness felt real. She nodded. They spent the next hour together. Maya, the man, and his little girl, whose name was Lila. He introduced himself as Evan, a single dad who worked as a carpenter. "I learned sign language because Lila's mom was deaf," he explained, his signs slow but careful. "She passed away 3 years ago. I didn't want my daughter to lose that connection." Maya's eyes softened. "You're a good father." He smiled sadly. "I try." They talked for hours, or rather, they signed and laughed with their eyes. By the time she left the cafe, The ache in her heart had faded into something lighter. She didn't know what it was yet. Maybe gratitude, maybe something more. But she knew one thing for sure. Someone out there understood her silence. The next morning, Maya couldn't stop thinking about Evan and his little girl. His gentle smile. The way he looked at her, not with pity, but understanding. Her phone buzzed with a new message. Unknown number. It was a picture of a coffee cup drawn with a smiley face. Underneath, a text. Next time I'm buying. Evan. Maya's lips curved into a grin. She typed back, deal, but only if there's cake. A week later, they met again. Same cafe, same corner table. Lila ran up to her with open arms, signing clumsily, Hi, Maya. Maya laughed. Hi, sunshine. Evan looked tired but happy. She's been asking about you every day, he signed. Their conversation flowed easily. They shared stories about loneliness, about love, about loss. Evan confessed how hard it was raising Lila alone. Sometimes, he signed, I'm scared I'll mess up. But then she smiles. And I know I'm doing something right. Maya touched his hand gently. You are. Over the next few months, they began meeting often. Coffee turned into park walks. Park walks turned into dinners. Dinners turned into quiet nights where words weren't needed at all. They didn't need sound. Their silence spoke everything. One evening, as the sun dipped low, Evan brought Maya to his workshop, a small space filled with wood, sawdust, and the faint smell of varnish. I want to show you something, he signed. He led her to a corner covered by a cloth. When he pulled it away, Maya gasped. It was a beautifully carved wooden sculpture, hands intertwined in a sign that read, Love. He looked nervous. It's for you. Her eyes filled with tears. Why, she signed. He smiled gently. Because you reminded me that love doesn't need sound to be heard. She couldn't hold back anymore. She stepped forward and hugged him, tight, real, trembling. He signed near her ear. You deserve better. She looked up at him, tears shining. I found better. A few weeks later, the town held a small outdoor music night. Soft lights, laughter, and couples dancing under the stars. Maya hesitated to go. What's the point? She signed to Evan. I can't hear the music. He shook his head. You don't need to. When they arrived, people swayed to slow songs, couples holding hands. Maya watched their rhythm, trying to feel the beat through the ground beneath her feet. Evan turned to her, smiling. Close your eyes, he signed. She did. He took her hands, placed one on his chest, the other around his shoulder. Feel this, he signed. She could feel the faint thump of his heartbeat, steady and strong. This is our music, he signed. Tears rolled down her cheeks. I can hear it, she signed back, smiling through her tears. They danced, not to sound, but to love. And when the lights dimmed and the world felt still, she whispered the only words she could, not with her voice, but with her hands. I love you. Evan smiled, his hands answering, I love you more. Months later, Maya began teaching sign language at the local community center. Evan and Lila came to every class. Together, they helped others bridge the gap between silence and understanding. One afternoon, a new student asked her, What made you want to teach? Maya smiled softly, because someone once told me I deserved better. And he showed me, love doesn't always need to be heard. It just needs to be felt. And across the room, Evan signed quietly, always. Because in a noisy world, they had found a love that spoke in silence,